Long ago, in a land where the rivers sang and the mountains wore crowns of mist, there lived a young woman named Zhu Yingtai. She was the daughter of a noble house, blessed with beauty, wit, and a restless spirit that no walls could hold. In those days, women were meant to stay behind embroidered screens, to read only what was allowed, to dream only the dreams chosen for them. But Yingtai was different. She yearned to learn, to roam the great halls of scholarship where men debated the mysteries of the world. She longed for more than fine clothes and a proper marriage. And so, one morning, with her heart pounding like a drum, she disguised herself as a boy, tucked her long hair under a scholar's cap, and set out for the academy in Hangzhou, a place forbidden to girls like her. The journey was long, winding through fields of rippling wheat and villages steeped in mist. It was along this road that fate, with a knowing smile, placed someone in her path. His name was Liang Shanbo. Liang was not the son of lords or wealthy merchants. His family was humble, his possessions few. But his eyes were bright, and his laughter warm, and there was a kindness in him that even the hardest journeys could not wear away. The two travelers fell into easy conversation, like two streams joining to form a river. They discovered they were headed to the same academy. They vowed to become brothers, sworn in friendship. From that moment, their fates were tangled together. At the academy, the days blossomed into years. Yingtai and Shanbo studied side by side, reciting poetry, solving riddles, challenging each other beneath the sprawling arms of ancient trees. They laughed together. They quarreled. They shared secrets whispered by candlelight, while the crickets sang outside their windows. To Liang Shanbo, Zhu Yingtai was the brother he never had, clever, fierce, full of life. And to Yingtai, he became something she dared not name. Her heart, once so free and wild, now beat in time with his. But she kept her secret locked tightly inside her, fearing that the truth would shatter the fragile, beautiful thing they had built. One spring day, when the garden was a sea of blossoms, Yingtai tried to hint at the truth. They sat under a flowering tree, its petals falling like soft rain. Laughing, she teased him. "Brother Liang, if you were to marry someday, what kind of woman would you choose?" He grinned, tossing a pebble into a pond. "Someone like you," he said, not knowing the weight of his words. "If there were a sister as clever and kind as you, I would marry her without a second thought." Yingtai's smile trembled at the edges. How she wished she could pull off her scholar's robe and show him who she truly was. But the moment slipped away, like a leaf carried off by the wind. Before she could find the courage to speak, a summons came. Her parents demanded she return home, for they had arranged a marriage for her, a marriage she could not refuse. The news hit her like a thunderclap. She had no choice but to obey. On the day of her departure, the sky was grey, and the wind carried the scent of rain. At the academy gates, Yingtai and Shanbo stood together one last time. She pressed into his hand a small piece of jade, carved with the symbol of eternity. "Come find me," she whispered. "I have a sister I wish you to meet. She resembles me in every way." He promised he would. And as she turned away, her heart splintered into 1,000 silent pieces. Days turned to weeks. Liang Shanbo, restless and uneasy, could not forget her words. Something unspoken had passed between them, something more precious than all the treasures of the earth. At last, he set out for the Zhu family estate. The road was long and weary. He crossed mountains wreathed in cloud, forded rivers swollen with rain. Every step, every mile, brought him closer to an answer he could not name. At the gates of her grand home, he was welcomed, but not as a friend, not as a brother. There, standing among the marble columns and silk banners, was Zhu Yingtai, no longer in a scholar's robe, but in the garments of a noble daughter. Her hair was pinned with gold. Her eyes, once sparkling with mischief, were heavy with sorrow. For a long moment, they could only stare at each other. And then she spoke, voice barely above a whisper. "Brother Liang, I am sorry." The truth struck him like a blade. She had been the one he had laughed with, dreamed with, loved without even realizing it. And now, she belonged to another. Her marriage had been arranged to a wealthy man named Ma Wunsai, a man of power, but no soul. The jade pendant he still clutched in his hand grew heavier with each beat of his broken heart. Liang Shanbo returned home, but he left his spirit behind. Grief hollowed him out, piece by piece. He fell ill, a sickness that no physician could name. The spring rains came and went. The summer sun blazed and faded. And on an autumn day, when the world was draped in the dying gold of falling leaves, Liang Shanbo drew his last breath. They laid him to rest on a lonely hill, where the wild grasses grew untamed and the sky stretched vast and silent above. When Zhu Yingtai heard of his death, she wept until her soul felt torn apart. But duty still chained her. On the day of her wedding, she rode in a crimson sedan, veiled and silent, like a lamb led to the altar. The procession wound through the hills, heavy with drums and music. As they neared the place where Liang Shanbo was buried, a strange thing happened. The sky darkened, as if mourning. The wind rose, tearing at the banners. The earth trembled underfoot. In that moment, Yingtai knew what she had to do. She leapt from the sedan, scattering her attendants like startled birds. She ran, through mud, through thorns, through the cries of the horrified guests, to the grave where Liang lay. Falling to her knees, she clawed at the earth, crying out his name. Liang Shanbo. If we could not be joined in life, let us be joined in death. The heavens answered. With a crack of thunder, the grave split open. Without a moment's hesitation, Yingtai threw herself into the chasm. The earth closed over them, and the storm faded into a deep, aching stillness. From the silent grave, two butterflies rose. One with wings as dark and rich as a twilight sky. The other, pale and golden, shimmering with light. They circled each other, dancing in the soft air, their wings brushing as they rose higher and higher, until they disappeared into the heavens. Those who witnessed it fell to their knees in awe. They knew what they had seen. A love that no chain could bind. A bond that even death could not sever. Today, when spring stirs the first blossoms awake, and butterflies drift through fields of wildflowers, the story of Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai is whispered once more. It reminds us that some loves are written not in ink or stone, but in the stars and the turning of the seasons. A love so pure, so fierce, that even the grave must bow before it. So when you see two butterflies dancing together under a soft spring sun, remember, it might just be them, still chasing each other across the endless sky, forever free. Thus lives the legend of the butterfly lovers. A love too vast for this world. A bond too beautiful to ever die.